Okay, I promise you this one's going to be short. Hydrogen fuel cells. There was a while where in California, the governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I am the governor of California, and I am here to tell you that we are going to use hydrogen fuel cells to run our country. Well, yeah, he got everybody all excited. People thought that okay, the hydrogen was like some sort of energy source we had access to, but that's really not what it is. So I just want to make sure we understand exactly uh, what makes hydrogen fuel cells at all interesting. Okay, so basically, hydrogen. If hopefully your chemistry teacher did this for you. If you can take hydrogen, you can react it with oxygen, and it turns into water, and it gives off a lot of energy in the process, right? So it's a very exothermic reaction. Well, there's not much ability to use this type of energy, but it turns out a hydrogen fuel cell is able to do it and make electricity at the same time. So the idea is, well, I'll show you in a minute, but the idea is we're still going to do this reaction, but we're going to do it in a way using a catalyst to help separate the electrons and force them to go through a circuit in order to make the H2O. All right, so basically, what we do is hydrogen comes into one side at the anode side, and then it is separated using a catalyst. And what happens then is electrons flow through here, and then the hydrogen comes through here as hydrogen ions, picks up the electrons here, joins the water and joins the oxygen and becomes water. So you don't really have to understand the details of this, but the idea is we're essentially taking the electrons away from the protons, forcing them to go through a circuit, and then reforming them over here in order to react the oxygen with the hydrogen to form water, and in the process, we're having a voltage produced. So it's a pretty cool idea, and the main benefit of it is that it's far more energy efficient than just exploding like in an internal combustion engine. All right, but really, you should think of this like a battery rather than think of it as a form of energy. It's not like we have hydrogen deposits that we're tapping into. We don't. Hydrogen is in the form of water. That's where the hydrogen on our planet most is. It's also in methane. Methane is CH4. Water is H2O. So there's H in both of those places. But in order to get that, to get at it, we basically have to separate the hydrogen from the oxygen in water or from the carbon in methane, and that takes an input of energy. And so far, getting it from water has not worked really great. I mean, it's worked on small scales, and I hope in the future it may become more doable using solar energy. But right now, it's only worked on a very small scale. Most of the hydrogen that's been produced commercially is done using what's called steam-methane reforming. So basically, you're taking this very high temperature steam and you're reacting with natural gas. And in the process, what you're doing is you are taking methane and oxygen, turning into carbon monoxide and hydrogen. So now you got your hydrogen out there. Then the carbon dioxide, which is not good, reacts with water, forming carbon dioxide and H2. So basically, what happens is in this two-part process, we're essentially turning methane, CH4, into hydrogen and CO2. Now, CO2, wait a second, isn't that what causes global warming? Yes, it is. But the idea is you can get the energy out of methane, natural gas, by producing half as much carbon dioxide as you otherwise would. So it's a way of reducing carbon emissions, but not eliminating them. So that's why it's not it's not this amazing thing that Arnold Schwarzenegger seemed to think it was. Again, you should think of it like a battery. The idea is if I have a fuel cell, it is a way of accessing energy and transporting it and releasing it in a way that's fairly but not completely efficient. Uh, but it's a slightly higher efficiency way of accessing the hydrogen right now that is present in methane.